I got back just in time. I do have a few updates. I do want to get into art, like, as soon as possible. Because today might be a short stream. Ugh. Let me... swap this out for a second. Announcements and shit. Oop. Oop. Hey Eli, how you doing tonight? Ba-doop. Let me prep my drink real quick here. I need to freaking... What do you mean you see how it is? You're a mod. You go in the basement now. Get back to work. You wanted this. You're the one that hasn't been responding to your DMs. Depending on how short the stream is, I may actually do a double stream tonight. The other one will be on other site, though. So. Join me over here or join me on other site. Either works. Fair enough. But one thing did get a bit of a wrench in it. That one's more related to other sites, so I'll keep any update to that to over there. First and foremost, like I said, today might be a short stream. I decided to stream a little early because family went to go get stuff. And I decided that I wanted to get a little bit done. Today's going to probably be a more lax day. I got to sleep late because I was, and we'll get to the news as to why in a moment. So I'm a bit tired. So having a nice relaxed day isn't too bad. Plus, we're going to be having art twice this week at the very least. Because tomorrow, we're going to be working on Bedu's birthday art. So we're going to be drawing her in Kosuzu's outfit as a spoiler. I was debating between 3 potential outfits, but I decided on Kosuzu because that was the original idea, and then it seemed fitting. As far as the news, I miscalculated. It's not this Wednesday. It's next Wednesday. But, I'm getting an upgrade to my internet. I'm going to have a gig of bitrate, or a gig of like upload and download, and gig fiber. So we're going to be doing a little bit of overkill on that. which means that better quality for you guys. I mean, I guess that it won't really change a whole lot. I'll be able to up the bitrate a bit more, but I'm already doing like 1080 60, which is all I will be doing until I get like a monitor that does better. Even then, I probably wouldn't. I mean, that's way far off. But it's also cheaper. I literally cut my bill in half. Because the previous bill was freaking grandfathered in from when the fiber was first put in here. So it was double the price for 1/10 of the... Like, I was paying $90 for 100 megabits. And now I'm going to get a gig for like $50. The exact numbers are 89 and 54, I think, or 45 or something like that. I don't know. The point is that I'm much cheaper. It was like, no, it was 108 because I had all that other shit as well. 89 was for the internet on its own, and then there was like 3 other things that got grandfathered in. That was putting me at like 108. And now I'm at 54. Before taxes, but tax is like 50 cents. So, negligible in the grand scheme of things. That being said, it is also on my card now instead of my father's card like it was before, so I'm... Good news, just getting it directly taken out of my stuff, rather than having to give him the money in order to pay for it. Bad news is that freaking that means that I for sure have to keep my account in the freaking buffer area. I have a few commissions that I'm working on, so once I actually get those done, I'll have plenty of breathing room. Because it's like 100 a pop, I believe. Let me double check. What my freaking roster's looking like. Where's my card? My card. It's the first thing being selected. I forgot that. So take that into account. Yeah, we're golden. I have 2 commissions that I am working on as far as like standard art, and then Teber's character sheet, and Teber's model is being put on hold for the time being, apparently, because I mean they obviously got the modular model that they recently got, but we're also like a little up in the air as far as like design wise to a certain degree, because they're experimenting with base physical traits again. So that's a bit up in the air. I'll get to this here in a second. I do have one last little thing. But I only have to do the shading on my art fuck attack. And that's the only one I'm going to do because it ends in like 2 weeks. I'm just going to freaking bookmark or something all the people I intended to attack and just do art of them when I have the time. Things got too busy and I just got too far behind. That being said, the elephant in the room, not even an elephant, it's right here. It's Nostalgiathon, you know, the title of today's stream. And, you know, every other part of it. Once again, we're raising money for the kitties. Shadow needs medication for his snottiness. And, Crumble, who is the one that I mentioned, the new one, who is doing well. He's doing much better than he was when he arrived, because he was all skin and bones when he arrived, because he was a kitten and a stray, so he wasn't doing so hot. He's putting on weight. He's doing much, much better. I'll take pictures of him and post them soon so that people actually have, like, a picture of him. But the first, about 200, I believe. That's like the buffer area that I kind of want to have for them. I know that Shadow's medication for sure is 65 on its own. I don't know how much, since it's all like the vaccines and everything as well, I don't know how much Crumble's checkup will be. But once theirs is taken care of, the remainder will be like a 50-50 split about between a rainy day fund for them, like all the cats, just in case we have like a hiccup incident again, or like we need to get... A big one that I wind up having a lot is Reed has a flea allergy. So, like, every summer I have to at least get one dose of, like, this prescription strength flea medication to keep him off of her. Otherwise, she starts, like, getting hives and licking herself bare. But it's like a 50-50 split between those. That and then my funding as we move... Oop. Hi, Nami. I'll move myself a little bit so that we can actually see the leggies. Let me set it to where I'm like sitting on the ground. It doesn't work as well because my hair freaking goes below. My stumps. But where was I? All right. And then obviously like I'll have the house. This house after that. So 50% of it will also be going toward that. For bills and whatnot. Which we're doing actually really good on renovations. We want to, at some point in like the next week or so, hunt for the water mains so that they can get water back over. 100 subs is like $600. That would skip us all, because that's based off of, well, I guess that's subs. Unless you mean points-wise. 100 subs would be 50 points because I get half. No, wait. 100 subs... 100 subs is... It's not 50 points. I'm stupid. 100 subs is 300 points. Because it's $6 a sub. I get half of that. Points are based off of how much money I get. As I stated, I'm tired, so math is not my strong suit right now. Math isn't my strong suit as is, but I have a Ko-Fi. I don't have the, like, goal set on the Ko-Fi, but I do have a Ko-Fi. My Ko-Fi should be in my card. I gotta remember what my info is. Email with a 6-digit code is what I need. No, don't turn on browser notifications. But yeah, Gaff has donated via Ko-Fi in the past. I need to update my Ko-Fi because its last post is actually like Arc 1 of the exploration series. The last comment on it is from the Roof Fixathon. But yeah, I do have a Ko-Fi. That's all set up. I have a Ko-Fi. I also have, I believe it's through Streamlabs. Let me actually set a goal. Hi again, Eli. I also need to readjust my freaking listing here. Because obviously my budgetary requirements per month have gone down significantly due to the better internet, or the better, cheaper internet that we've got now. I believe I have it set up, unless it broke. Because it's through my MIU. Oh, why did you do that? Why did you do that? Freaking... remove this goal. $200. There. We also have the goal set up on the Ko-Fi. Because like I said, I believe it's 200 for covering Shadow and Crumbles, all their stuff. So that's goal number 1. I mean, obviously the goals up there are rewards. You guys get rewards before then, but goal number 1 is shooting for 200. That way, the primary driving factor behind this being an actual a-thon is covered. I mean, I've technically done Nostalgia-thon, like, the past 3 years. Anyway. Year 1, I just did a freaking 12-hour stream and tacked on a, like, subathon thing. Because I felt, oh, it's kind of needed for an event. Because I was a fresh VTuber back then. Last year was obviously because of Hiccup's injury. And then this year, it's medicine. Also, for those that have been following the Creamsicle saga, she's just fat. I was incorrect. She's not pregnant. Either that or she is having the driest freaking pregnancy ever, because apparently both dad and sister have said that there is no swelling in the teats. Which, this far into her pregnancy, she should have if she was actually pregnant. Because I think that cats are like 3 months? At most? $65 days, 2 months. Yeah, for sure. There's nothing. Because it was midsummer when I freaking originally thought she was pregnant. Either way. At the very least, that means that we won't have... Why have you lost your mobile device? At the very least, that means that we won't have, you know, another 8 cats to worry about. All the vaccines and checkups and whatnot. And then, God forbid, fixing them if they all turned out to be female or something. Either way. I'm debating if I want to update Nasu's eyes before we get into this. Maybe. I do have my tablet in front of me. I do want to just separate the eyes from everything else for this. I need to be very careful not to freaking open my most recent things, because I don't think that Twitch would appreciate me opening my art fuck attack. I need to figure out what... Can I just open up the Photoshop file, I wonder? Yes. The only thing I really need from this is the eyes. Which I think should port in... Okay, my pen's in front of me. What is this? Oh. Don't need that. Oh, nope, that does remove. All of this is fine. This can be removed. The head needs to be separated. Everything else past this should just be good to remove then. This can be removed. Face can be moved up here. Mouth can be removed. These can all be removed. All I need is the irises, really. I need the pupils to stay solely for spacing reference. Oh, it's because this. Huh. This whole time I actually thought that I had line work around my eyes. I didn't realize that I never line worked my eyes. That makes things a little easier, at least. I suppose I should, like, for the sake of knowing where everything's positioned. Welcome back. Let me bring up a good reference for eyes. Front? What is front? Let's see how... Oop, that's a line. I don't want a line. I want a ellipse. It's also far larger than I want. I don't know. I'm not familiar with it if it is a joke. Front and back? Yeah, I'm not entirely sure on that one. I also might redo the pupils. My pupils are not as easy to see from a distance. I need to thicken them a bit, I think. Well, I like the pupils that I currently do, which one day someone will know what they're from. Honestly, it'll probably be Blue Twitch that anyone recognizes the pupil style, if anywhere. I do want this to be multiply. How did you forget about the Fumo? Or why are you apologizing? I should also ask. Or well, I guess it's just an oops, not an apology. I also need to check to see if... if I layer it properly and make it to where... I do want this to be shifted more into a blue hue, though. That's a line, not a curve that I want. This needs to be a multiply down to like 30. Then I need partially hide the upper lid again. Oops, not that. That's also too thick. I want this to kind of just be, straight up accent to this. Want very light accents. About 50 strength, I believe. Hmm. No, I'm not big on those either. There's a lot of mural too. It's a bit ironic, to a certain degree, that Rhea is, like, one of the people that has the most... Yeah, that's the octopus. The most, like, safe for work art. I also do Rhea in portrait a lot more, so... She fits better into, working on art over here. I actually do kind of like the way that that is. If I were to do that for, like, down here as well, does that, as long as it's softened out, does that work a little better? I do actually kind of like that when it's softened out. Like, I think the only person that... has as much of a ratio... Or the only people that have as much of a ratio of stuff that I can actually show over here, or the quantity, I guess, not even ratio, are people that I actively do not ever elude at all. Like, Bedu, all of hers are safe for work, because... no. And then I also want a little extra highlight down here. I do kind of want to flip this. I have to hide this when I do this. And I did say that I wanted to adjust the pupils. You don't know Mural? I mean, she isn't like a pseudo graduation now, but like deeper into this, and then let me finish with this eye and then I'll be good. That might be the play, yeah. Alright, duplicate layer. I do need... my symmetry ruler to be on this. believe that's dead center. Duplicate layer. I do want the eye white as like a reference point for this. The rest of this can all get canned. Save as. Save duplicate, Photoshop. Why is that open? Why does it say that's open? What the fuck? Okay, we'll just save duplicate. Save it as named. Oh, because it didn't... What? You didn't ask me all that stuff for... We were doing that before. I don't know. And I can plaster these eyes anywhere, basically. So if I were to open up Cubism, it'll open like all of the smaller bits. Recent. Also, let me give you guys visual on Live 2D. Oh, you guys can get visual. It's just the Clip Studio. So let me... Models and assets, Nasu 3. Named. Keep it on the same one. Replace, because there are some of these that are named the same. So we got the glasses. Left eye and right eye. Hoodie torso isn't needed. Hood cast chat, okay. My freaking head, face, left eye and right eye. So all of these go into right. All of these need to be upped to 502. This also needs to be upped to 502. This gets the clipping ID of this. This will almost never actually matter for these. The only thing it'll matter for is the iris shade, really. We grab this. Select all of these. This goes up to 502. And the clipping ID. We need them to also clip to that. I mean, if they're gonna follow that, like, they're not gonna really have any different one. So if we... We don't want the iris shade to have that. Hmm. Oh, the sclera shade for the right side is off. So copy and paste. Yes. $30. The one thing I do need to do is this. If we just collapse these down into and bake them in. No. This back out. I mean, the answer is to freaking add a mask, is what it is. Which is basically where I freaking have a layer that goes this doesn't need to be like this. Where I have a layer that goes behind everything and have it be like just some random color. And then, like, if I do this, then the mask just gets a reverse clip to it. And then it hides hides whatever's, like, in front of it. So I have it, like, tied to the line work and whatnot. And that's the idea. However, we can also just do a quick and dirty, which is what we're doing. Which honestly, baking it in is arguably just easier in general anyway. Because then we don't actually have anything changed. So we don't have to like redo texture atlases or anything, we can just do this. And that already adds more volume to it and makes my pupils much more noticeable. So this gets saved as... Further updates 1. And I think that's where we'll leave it for tonight. If I do wind up streaming more tonight, it'll be on other site most likely, and Ray will probably be joining me. I'll probably work on the shading for my attack, and then maybe some more of this for the actual rigging. And then tomorrow we'll be doing draw and two hoos. Unless I feel like streaming over here some more later tonight. No idea. I got most of my announcement stuff out of the way, so. Let's see if there's anyone to raid. Ooh, I think I know who I might. Sori's doing some art, so we'll raid into him. Tomorrow will be a longer stream. Probably, maybe. Blue side stream might be longer as well. But let's start the raid. If I can. Okay, I guess that I do not have permit. Apparently, sorry, just has raids turned off. New plan. I hunt for someone else to raid. Is there anyone doing any modeling or rigging? Yogurt's going. If no one else is specifically doing modeling or rigging, I'll probably raid into Yogurt. Also a Fia as an option. I've never actually... ended at an hour to raid Fia, I don't think. Do I have a coin around here to flip? D4, I guess. Even will be yogurt, odd will be Fia. It was a 1. Alright, let's check to make sure that I can actually raid. Sick. You guys know the drill. Behave yourselves. Don't make a fool out of me out of yourselves. I don't have any real announcements. Tomorrow will be more Tuhu's as usual. It'll be art because it's Bedu's birthday, and like I said, I don't think I have any other real announcements. You can check the socials. My card has blue if you want to freaking possibly see if there's a stream later. You can also join the Discord, follow me on Twitter, or follow me on Blue Sky in order to keep updated on things such as when I go live, what I'm going live with, and art like we were working on today and we'll be working on tomorrow. That being said, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for the follows, raids, all that good jazz. And I apologize again for the short stream. Love y'all. Bye.